David, you also did a study with the brain that much of this group is very young. Some of this group have been here for 2-3 years, and some of them have only been here for 3 weeks. But I bet they would love to hear a little bit about the scientific study you did with the brain, because it was fascinating, you all.
Yeah, actually, I can show those pictures. Okay. Yeah, so this was an exciting study. This was done, by the way, with Dr. Gaetan Chevalier. I've been working with Dr. Chevalier for over 10 years now. I think it's maybe approaching 14 years. He's a brilliant guy. He's a nuclear engineer, and he was involved in nuclear fusion research at UCLA. And his specialty is laser spectroscopy. And he's since gotten involved in the effects of light on the human body, and that's how we got together to do some studies. So he's a brilliant guy, and in this study, we used a multi-channel EEG, a P3 system, for those that might be familiar with it. This was the pilot study, and then we later went on to do a double blind, and we wanted to work with people over the age of 50. So, no surprise, what happens as we age is that most people will experience some type of age-related cognitive decline. Some of this is through declines in mitochondrial function, changes in hormone levels, lack of exercise, poor diet, and other things. And we wanted to find out, could we reverse this? And, we think about how important this is, that as people get over the age of 50 and 60, one of the things they really fear is, am I going to lose my mental faculties? And if we could reverse that so that people could be, 70, 80, 90 and above and not have any loss in their cognitive abilities, that would be a remarkable contribution, much less anything else. So here's an example of a woman, 77 years old, and session 1 is at baseline. And at 77, you really don't see very much stem cell activity in the body. The cells have reached what's called the Hayflick limit. They've stopped dividing. The integrity and the quality of the stem cells is extraordinarily poor. And this is when, when people get older, you get a broken bone, you may not really recover. Or you don't recover very well. So session 1 was at baseline. And what we're seeing with these red areas is a lack of brain coherence, or the ability of different regions of the brain to communicate with one another. And this has an incredible impact on health. Session 2 is after only 3 weeks of using X39, where we see a dramatic improvement in brain coherence, and the effect gets even better after session 3. And I asked Dr. Chevalier, what would it take to see this type of transformation outside of X39? And he said, first, it never happens. And second, you would expect someone to be on very heavy nutritional intervention, exercise program, work for maybe 9 to 12 months to see anything even, remotely close to this. So he was extraordinarily impressed, and he has spoken at our conferences in the past on LifeWave. This was a gentleman, 67. Not everyone responds the same way. And in this case, he was wearing the patch below the belly button. And again, we can see the same problem with brain coherence in session 1. But again, after 3 weeks, there's definitely an improvement. And the improvements are going to show up as better mental clarity, better focus, and calmness, better sleep. And then, of course, after 6 weeks, we see that there is a dramatic improvement. So this is just all to say most people are going to see results the first few weeks. Some people need a little bit longer.
Wow, that's incredible.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for sharing, David.
Well, that really helps everybody here who really wants to create a business using the X39 with retention. Does that tell you how important it is to keep this patch on, and don't look left or right. Make sure you brush those teeth and put your patch on every morning. I've been wearing it almost 3 months.
As well.
And I always can't wait to put the patch on every morning. So those of you that are just getting started, you can see. And now take a look at this. That's the first time I saw that study. Thank you, David. That was incredible.